companies that published Canadian whites during the Second World War, and one of the classiest was educational projects, whose flagship comic was called Canadian Heroes. And a big part of the reason for that class was the artwork and storytelling of our next Hall of Fame inductee, George Menendez Rae. Canadian Heroes was aimed at educating kids and honoring their contribution to Canadian life and to the home front war effort. Each issue featured stories of historical figures, generally Canadian historical figures, modern politicians, and tales of battlefield heroism meant to inspire young Canucks. It also contained book reviews, examinations of potential careers in the growing country, celebrations of the community-building initiatives of the readership, and sometimes wild, bizarre predictions for the future of the country sent in by imaginative kids from nationwide. So basically, there's a one-stop shopping for comic enjoyment that your parents would approve of. And it probably sounds kind of boring, but in fact, it's not. It's actually a very good read, and a big part of that is because of the artwork that lifts the features off the page as you turn each one. Each issue reads like a large stable of artists are contributing. But though there were several talented artists working on the book, a large number of them were George Menendez Rae, signing himself variously as Ray, R, Des, and Geo. And the interesting thing is, each signature carried with it a variation in style, making it seem like a different person drew each feature, and each feature had its own unique look. But each style shared Ray's supple line work, his clear storytelling, and elegant page layouts. Educational projects insisted that everything in their books had to be based on reality. There would be no magic words or leaping over tall buildings between the covers of Canadian Heroes. But Rae saw more potential for the book. He convinced the publishers and his editor to add an adventure series based on the true tales of the RCMP. His most famous innovation was the creation of his national superhero, Canada Jack. Canada Jack's adventures were designed to model an active lifestyle to kids and provide a character to inspire the readers to get involved. Jack made his debut in the March 1943 issue of Canadian Heroes, and his hero was not flashy. His costume consisted of tight slacks and a tank top that featured a Canada Jack crest on his chest, and whatever gear was needed for the sport that he was enjoying in that particular issue. A gymnast, a jiu-jitsu expert, and superb horseman, he protected the Canadian home front from a variety of villains, including saboteurs, kidnappers, black marketeers, escaped Nazi POWs, and kids behaving badly. Johnny stole my watch, but I needed money. But I felt bad and I couldn't bring myself to fence him. You're a good kid with a good heart, Johnny. Go peel some potatoes. Thank you, Canada Jack. Canada Jack also inspired the creation of a popular children's club that brought together fans of the strip and encouraged kids to contribute to the Canadian war effort and celebrate those efforts. They were printed on the club pages, the projects that they did, and their names were printed. They were congratulated, and fictional versions of the club members were always deeply involved in Canada Jack's comic book adventures. Ray's comic art also appeared in the Canadian Jewish Congress titled Jewish War Heroes, perhaps the first Canadian giveaway comic book, and in two educational compilations, Action Stories of the Mountain and The Thrilling Adventures of Canada Jack. Following the demise of educational projects in late '45, Rae left the comics field and became increasingly active as a fine artist, serving as the president of the Arts Club of Montreal, receiving the Order of Merit for his many contributions to the arts in his home community of St. Helena, Quebec. We are honored to induct George Menendez Rae into the Joe Shuster Hall of Fame, and here to accept the award is George's niece, Mary Byers.
I'll just add one or two things to that research. My uncle decided, I think as Ken Stacy wrote, to say age that this was what he wanted to do with his life. And he was working as a teenager in Toronto when the group of 7 were doing commercial art at a studio, and he would just go up there and he'd sweep the floor and he'd just want to look at them and see what they were doing. And then he worked for about 25 years for the Family Herald and Weekly Star, and they said of him about his comic work that when he drew a bull, the mad bull fairly breathed fire from his nostrils. And they spoke about his rib tickling cartoon drawings. And I think what you all know is the way that cartoon artists can capture that action and just make it so incredibly strong. My daughter and my 2 sons are here, and they will remember George. When they were young, he'd give me a piece of paper and say, draw a line. So they'd work away at the line, and then he would just take that line, and in a minute it was an exciting action shot, and that's the kind of amazing creativity that you all know so much about. So thank you very much. This is indeed a great, great honor.